Hello, my name is King Link, and today we're doing a preview of Kingdom Come Deliverance. This is actually... Let's do it again. Hello, my name is King Link, and today we're doing a preview of Kingdom Come Deliverance for the Humble Monthly Bundle for August 2019. Now, this has actually been a little bit of a challenge. I think due to a few things, and we'll get into that, but I think mostly my recording software finally was like, oh, the graphics are too big, too variable, and caused some issues here. Hopefully this recording will go well, because otherwise I have no idea what to do. Beyond this. But this is an interesting game. This is a little bit like a historical fiction game. So we're setting a time period in the 15th century. We'll talk about that in a second. Essentially playing almost a Skyrim-like experience in that time period. I use the word Skyrim, I just mean like big, expansive, immersive game where you can do pretty much anything. Now, I don't think there's magic, but I do think there is a lot of dialogue, a lot of talking, and a lot of like you do what you want, with exceptions. We'll talk about those in a bit too. So here we go, main menu. Now, just have to switch the graphic settings to very high. So if this game looks good, it is good. I'm not cheating anything here, though I did put on the high definition textures, I did put on high definition audio, and I did put on high definition voices. Don't think that really matters, but just in case. And yeah, there's a bunch of DLC you can buy for the game. You know, I haven't had really a chance to have an opinion on that. With all that said, though, the game might look better, at least from what I normally put out, mostly because Saturday I put out a State of King Link reviews. The fact is I actually have an upgrade. I now have a 2700X AMD Ryzen chip. I have a GeForce RTX 2070 chip. I even have a little movie of it, what it can do on the video. Okay, and here we are. Early 15th century. So that's a time period of the game. We're going from Charles IV to Wenceslas. And then they also have Hungary. So I think this takes place in Hungary. There's references to the king. I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm going to have to figure that out at some point, of course. But the idea of it is we're in an ancient time. Now, this is totally a fictitious story, as far as I understand. But, man, the water looks so good. I mean, the graphics here look good. Honestly, like I said, I am using the high-def textures and all. I don't think it makes a big difference. This is a pretty game with one exception, and we'll get to that very shortly. I do have an opinion on the graphics already. And I know a lot of people love them. I agree with them. I think there's a lot of really solid work here. And they just did something that, well, the 90s should have taught them not to. God, I mean, like, look at the locations and all. It is a very, very beautiful experience. I've only played about an hour of this game. I'm kind of excited to play more. I do want to play more Wolfenstein before that point, but, man, it's good. And if you've watched the State of King Link, I've also been playing a bunch of VR games, I'll admit it. I'm getting really a lot of enjoyment out of them just to see what people have done with it and how far people have gone. And the answer is very far. So here she is. This is the main character's mother, and she's going to be a perfect example of what I say is an issue with this game.
I need him to run some errands.
He was still
not a
sleeping
horrible
when I
issue,
went
not
out.
a bad issue.
This hour?
I think honestly, the characters get pushed a little bit too far.
It looks
And it
like
creates a step into the uncanny valley
like
where every mistake, everything that isn't perfect becomes now a detriment. Her hair, for instance, looks good, but there's hair outside of the crown of her head. Yeah, there it is. It looks really off. And more that it feels like, yeah, that's what he does. It feels like you can almost lift that entire hairpiece off because
there's work to be done.
there's no scruffiness outside of that. It's just, I'm not trying to bash the graphics. The graphics are extremely good, and that's the problem. They're so good that you notice these minor issues, which is what the whole Uncanny Valley basically brings us to.
Wait, what's this? Have you been... Oh, Henry. How many times have I told you about fighting?
Oh, it's nothing.
Don't affect steady.
It's just a scratch.
You've been at that sword play again, haven't you? You'd better pray your father doesn't get to hear of it.
So eventually,
You know how he feels about it.
I think I'd probably
Don't
go
worry, it
another
wasn't
5
that.
to 10 minutes of the
I
full
just scratched myself.
dialogue. I'm going to start
Oh.
skipping a little bit
Don't
just
come crying
because
to me if you really
there's
do
a
get
lot of
hurt.
dialogue in this game, and that's
Now
fine.
get
It's
up,
just
you rogue.
my previews, I like to show stuff that isn't just cutscenes and videos. And the thing is, the videos here are good. The characters look good, like I said. Uncanny Valley good. Like, it's small things. Like, his hair doesn't move at all. These people have unkept hair, but they're unkept, perfectly coiffed hair. You know? Alright. So now we finally go into an actual dialogue. Now, in this dialogue, this is going to be the prep for the game. You can decide how your character starts. I don't believe these are actually important choices. I think they're mostly story choices.
What on earth did you get up to last night?
And, loading. The loading is actually because I'm running this off a regular hard drive, not my SSD. Probably going to get better. I can't imagine it being this slow in the end. There you go. So, yeah, you get to choose one of 4 stats to go. You actually get 2 choices of this. I do like the I was with Bianca choice, but I'm always a strength character in these games. I actually decided to be a little bit of a
so I'd say I have a
brat
right to be a bit
in
tired.
this
Well,
demo, just to see how much I could push the
and it's connected with that scratch
script,
on
push
your
the
hand. And that
gameplay.
suspicious-looking character with a sword who turned up in town
Popping the
recently.
peas. So yeah, he was pushing the whatever.
I was with Bianca.
So yeah,
Do you want a blow-by-blow account of everything we did?
excuse me.
What's this, an interrogation?
Yeah, it's just
All right,
these choices aren't important,
Sorry,
but
son.
you'll see other choices that I
just that
make.
I worry about
You actually
you.
can have an interesting
Thanks, Ma, but
conversation
I'm not 4
system,
years
and then
old.
there's actually
I
a
know how.
very interesting
grown up in
persuasion
front of my
system that I
eyes.
have to play much
hard
more
to
with
get
because I
used to
failed
it.
both times I tried it. Essentially, you can, and I'll
get
point it
something
out
to
when
eat?
it comes up, but you can actually
left some
decide
breakfast on the
how
table.
to
Help
respond to
yourself.
people and try to influence them based on.
Did Matthew and
what they
Fritz come
choose.
looking for me?
No, I haven't seen them this morning.
So yeah, here we go. I'm actually
They
going to
shouldn't
choose
be
much
hard
of
to
this.
find. They'll be hanging around a tavern somewhere, as usual.
Yeah, you can have my friend's
Matthew
been
and Fritz
here.
aren't
His dad
drunkards.
mad at me. None
I
of
never
this
said
I
they were,
think
did I?
matters.
And if I
In
really
fact, I
minded you
think
going for a
most
beer
of
with them,
the
I'd have
choices
put a
early on
stop to
don't
it
seem to
long
matter
ago.
too much. But
I was young once.
I'm only an hour in. Big stuff
Your
had
father
just
was no
happened when I
angel when he
stopped
was in
playing it after
Gutenberg.
that hour, and I was like, okay, let's talk about the game before I start seeing more of the story. We learn in the first hour that our father is a great
he wasn't.
swordsmith. Oh, here we go.
You
One
don't
sec.
believe me? Ask him yourself.
Give me an
Alright, I
example
will.
of how he's not an angel.
You're not a boy anymore, Henry. You're a man, and it's time to start acting like one. Yesterday, you promised your father you'd help at the forge. If you made yourself useful now and then, I wouldn't mind your mischief-making
Maybe
so
maybe I'm
much.
supposed to directly talk to him rather than a cutscene, but I have not gotten the option to ask him. Not that I
you need me to do
probably
anything,
would
man?
want to ask my father about
Ah, you're a good lad.
that.
But I'm fine. It's your father needs...
So my father is a swordsmith, but apparently
You need
he's
me
a
to do
great
anything, though?
swordsmith who's come out
you're
to
a
this
good
hovel
lad.
for
But I'm
some
fine.
reason. We don't know
It's your
why.
father
At
needs
least,
helping
again,
with that
first hour.
sword.
And this is a long game. Like, if I'm talking first hour, we're talking like 1/40th of the game. I've heard main story takes at least 40 hours. People have put in like hundreds of hours into this game. It's a big game, and it feels like it's going to be huge. It feels like it's Skyrim big. I don't know yet. I could just be completely off base there, but it does feel like there's a lot of content here. So, and I've lost it. But yeah. Of course, this is, if you notice in the bottom right, the thing changing, it's because I'm hitting the right stick of the Steam controller, which does a mouse look, and then I'm using the Steam controller, which is a Xbox controller. Luckily, that's usually a problem in a lot of games, and you'll see the flickering. In this game, here we go. We go in, and we can actually set that as an option. I don't notice it at first, but that UI control detection at the top is exactly what we want. Go up, go up, go up. There we go. Alright, now we'll see Xbox controls all the time. And then being a Skyrim-esque game, what's the first thing you do when you enter a house that you're allowed in? Rob everything. Actually, first I accidentally found the door out, but that's not what we're going to do here. There we go. I'll take all the food from my parents. Leave them to starve. Oh, the persuasion system. So the persuasion system seems interesting. You can base it off of how you look, how violent you are, how strong you are, your standing in the community. Basically, there's a bunch of ways to make the conversation go, and it seems like it's kind of a bam. You get a list of like 4 or 5 choices of like how is this guy gonna respond. But it's like, use your best, like, are you friendly with him? Are you already buddies? Are you, dressed like a killer and he's afraid to challenge you? And so on. So if you build up those choices, you have a more interesting chat system, but I'm not 100% sure if it's all... Is this, you know, if they give you 4 choices, is it 4 choices to the same point if you pass and same point if you fail? I don't know for sure. And here I go trying to find the inventory system. Now, I do need more time with the inventory system to kind of understand it, but you'll see me eating stuff. Here we go. Nope. There we go. Inventory. So, it does have a very... Again, I keep saying Skyrim just because that's the game that everyone knows. As I'm eating them, though, you notice in the upper right there's little icons. I don't know what those are. Very curious. It is raising my nourishment. And then the stats in the bottom right, let's talk about those for a second. So, right now, I have certain stats, but as I play the game, and I'll try to point out a few times that we change, that stats change, each action you do helps you. If you talk to people, even if you're not conversating with them, you don't have to go and talk to you know, challenge people and persuade them. You can just talk to people and your speech will go up. If you're fighting people, it seems like that goes up as well as... Oh, here we are. So you can basically use all of these things to try to get people to like you. Like, use speech, your honor or prestige, your strength, your money, or even other skills that might be important. Like I said, I don't know if this is a binary choice of pass-fail for all of these, or if each one will go off in its own way. Probably a binary choice, to be honest. I don't think they could do much more. Then if you want to give money, you can do that. the fact is, it is an interesting system. I will be honest. I am very.
Why should I jump whenever
I
someone
want to
listens?
see more of this game.
I should be glad I came at all.
It feels
better
big. It
change
feels
your
like a
tone,
game that I
Bob.
might not be able to
Be glad I'm
complete.
too busy
just due
right
to the
now, or I'd
size of
tan
it.
your hide so much you'd have to sleep
Oh,
standing
there we go.
for a
So now
month.
we can see that. I didn't notice in the
Anyway,
bottom
a lot
right,
of work
which
to
is
do
now
today.
covered up.
I'm finishing the sword for Sir Radzik,
You can
and I
see
need your help.
the
With what?
stats.
I'm running out of charcoal. Run to the market and buy a bag from the charcoal burner.
Yes, Daddy.
I'll need some money then.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Kunesh still owes me for an axe, a hammer,
So
and the
I
nails
feel like the
sold
sword
him
is
a
going to be a
month
big
ago.
piece of the
Not to
game.
mention his debt from
Like I said,
before.
Father is a
Go
very
and tell
great
him to
blacksmith.
pay
You
up,
actually,
at least for the axe and
the
hammer.
end of
And
my
use the money to buy
hour,
the charcoal.
I finished making that
Goodness,
sword. He
that
actually
drunkard.
built it in front of me.
That'll be fun.
Well, you're a
Radrick
big
came and
lad
looked at it,
now.
and then
I'm sure you
something
can
happened, and I
manage.
kind of
If not, tell
stopped
him that
playing
next time
before
I'll
I
come
saw it anymore
myself
because I want to
personally
again
use
fresh.
that hammer to bang those
Oh, here we
nails
go.
into
So
his arse.
Kunesh owes us
We'll be
money.
happy to hear it.
Not quite. The
We'll be
chamberlain
seeing
of the
him.
castle has the cross guard for Sir Radzik's sword, which I had engraved in Sasau.
You want me to go and pick it up? All right.
And ale. Stop off at the tavern on your way home.
Yeah, there's a little
You'll
swearing
be
in
going
this
there
so
anyway to
far.
see that.
Her name is
Not too much. I'll be
so
honest.
Make sure Bianca
Most
draws me a
people
nice
like to
cool
think
one.
that the old ages, middle ages, are very a lot of cursing and all. There's not that much in this game, and it's actually refreshing because it doesn't. It means you can. It's not like Watch Dogs where everyone felt like you swear. Now I could completely be wrong. We might have hundreds of swears, thousands of swears waiting in the wings for this game, but it seems like you're not getting it from most people. However, because I wanted to just jump into combat, I didn't realize if there would be any. I figured let's try this out. Now, the save system is something we should talk about. But first, let's talk about the combat. And we'll be using unarmed combat. So what I've figured out so far is there's at least two types. There's unarmed, where you can just punch kick, and then you'll eventually get swords, which is the training that they mentioned earlier. If you see there's that little 5-prong stance, that's telling you which direction the punches are coming. When you have a sword, you can be swinging from different directions. I don't know if that's true with the unarmed combat. I'm still very fresh at it. However, if you want to kill someone, I'm now a murderer. And the fact that no guards came and stopped me or anything, I'm not sure if that's just they didn't see me or whatnot. But you can actually steal items and all that. Of course, just in case I didn't want to break the story, we'll rewind that. Like I said, this guy, the character I'm playing right now, is a very, he wants to break the game. I always find that more interesting than the normal, oh, this is what the game looks like. Just see how far we can push it. And we'll actually see one place where the game perhaps gets broken. A little bit too far.
Indeed, I am.
That's at the end of
For
the
I have
video,
nothing
though.
to smelt the ore with. And the king won't get his silver.
Like I said, the graphics look
Welcome,
good.
Henry.
The nice thing is this is a huge town. This is not a... it's probably smaller than it should be, but this is
How are
not
you?
a 3 houses for 100 people. It seems like there's probably more like 20, 30 houses, maybe even 50 houses in this one area. So it's a little hobble. Even though there's probably... I think there's a castle, something up on the hill. So... Now, right now I'm trying to figure out what is up with that quest marker. Really, I just did it right. Talking to the charcoal seller would have been enough. And there you can see the size of the
I'm
town.
busy with Master Fafer.
It could be bigger, but honestly, it is a good size for a video game. I feel like a lot of game developers don't build a big enough town. But I also understand that it
recovered
takes
from
time for
yesterday's-
towns. You have to make every house
Except Mother.
and place
No
every
mother's
house
happy when
and
the
then
son starts
give
to
them a
take an interest in
purpose, and
swords.
that can take a lot.
Where there's weapons, there's death.
I don't want to rot in this hole forever.
The hero.
Broken like a man.
Yes.
This guy is
Alright,
actually a sword fighter who teaches you the first sword fighting. We don't see it in this video, but the combat in this game is very different. It's not Skyrim, it's not most games. You actually have a lot of, in the bottom you see a stamina bar. You're going to have to fill that up, use it, fill it up again. You can block attacks. You can basically do a lot more combat.
Traitors. Deutsch has gone too far. Wenceslas is our rightful king.
Deutsch is an idiot.
Oh well.
Deutsch.
My words.
I knew you wouldn't miss out on
So
all
my
the
understanding is Deutsch is probably German? But clearly the boys here, I skipped the conversation, but they have a problem with Deutsch. For he is a right.
You, Henry.
Everyone speaks perfect English, but like I said, I want to say this is somewhere in Hungary, Czechoslovakia. There's even a reference to Czech language at one point, so I don't know. But it's
Are we doing this or not?
something.
Wait. We have to check that the coast is clear.
Why? Deutsch.
But maybe you noticed after all these years.
And that's a problem?
Aye, it is.
Why me?
Because
Yeah.
He does not have the best friends. So essentially right now, just the quick version is you have to go get the wife of Deutsch to leave her house so that you can do something. I don't know if they've been clear about it, but I think it's, we'll see in a second what we're going to do. It's very obvious.
What do you want, lad?
I was just checking to see
I
if this
just
is
went by
part
the
of our
tavern and
main
your husband
quest
was in
or
there,
if this
so-
was a
What sort of
one-off,
nonsense?
because
Well,
It
he
seemed
kept saying
very
that
odd.
Sigismund was right, and King Wenceslas
but it
is
is.
a drunkard.
It is
God
part of the
almighty.
main quest.
He might have mentioned the popes too.
Well, excuse me. One of the reasons is if you do this, they'll help you with another quest. But we'll see why. There's a small issue, in my opinion, of that. With how the game script works with it. We've got Deutsch's wife to leave. We have to walk around a bit until the game figures it out. Figure out what that icon is down there. I think that's something to do with G-Force, unfortunately.
What are you waiting for, soldier? Fire the trebuchet! For king
And if you notice, I
country.
lost reputation.
King
I
and
guess
country,
by
my
being
ass.
honorable,
So good,
you
clean,
lose reputation.
fun.
So your honor matters.
Nearly as good as having that traitor in the pillory. Nearly. Now that would be sweet.
That's for Sigismund.
Woohoo!
eat shit, Deutsches.
You bastards!
Fun.
What the fuck do you think you're doing?
Yeah, we're just throwing dung
Hey, Hans,
at the side of the
can't you
house.
see?
Yeah,
We're
yes.
decorating your house for you.
It's like your old man was saying in the tavern about that traitor Sigismund. We're just doing what we have to do.
Yep, they're
Oh,
the
son!
swears.
I'll make
And,
those
I mean,
smiles
like,
off
that's
your
appropriate. I
faces.
do think that... I'm
I'd
not
like to see you
anti-swearing. It's
try.
just, I want to say that just in case people
What are
do
you
get
doing
offended
here?
by them. But the swearing does seem very, like... This guy's mad. This guy's very mad. He's going to swear. He's going to curse. And that was the meaning of cursing back then. It was not... we use it a little bit too freely in the modern day. And I don't think that's necessarily completely wrong. It's just... It's good to hear it kind of as a part of the speech, not just, we can swear in this game, let's use it all over the place. Watch Dogs 2, I'm talking about. Oh, okay, now I understand. I think I just saw it. So, in the bottom, you have your health bar, your stamina bar, and then your opponent's stamina bar. So, the upper left of that thing is actually saying how much life does your opponent have. Interesting. The catchpole is on his way.
How are you, Henry?
I assume that's the version of the police in this era. Hopefully that makes sense. So, yeah, we're just gonna run around the circumference here for some reason. I do like the guard there. It's like, hey, Henry, how you doing? I just saw you throw shit and then run away. Oh, now I've sworn. That's good. Say hi to your mother. See what this game has done. It's making me swear. I also like the fact that we're kind of jogging. I think maybe this is because I didn't realize how to sprint at the time. You have to hold B, and I didn't look long enough at the controls. Oh, cow. I like cows. Okay, back to the game. You can actually tackle your friend. So I'm guessing that there's points where you're chasing enemies and you can tackle them. Interesting choices. There's a lot. Like, the thing is, the amount that I'm walking here seems excessive, and I agree. It is completely excessive. But I think it's part of, like, the realism of the historical setting. Like, this is not just a, let's just do something quick. This is a, if you want to walk over there, you walk over there. Now, there's fast travel points, as seen in the upper right. You can see that in a few places. But I hope I can get a haircut. I don't like his hair. I'm trying to figure out where to go next. And then I get the sneaky idea to steal. Which fails because she instantly notices me, because I'm not stealthfully. So I'm trying to find something else to do for the mission, and we'll get there in a second. We're almost at the end. Let's see, 26. Yeah, I think I figured out what was wrong with the video. Thank God.
God be with you, Kunesh.
What do you
It
want?
also was a 50 gig monstrosity,
sent me
which
to
didn't
get the
help
coin.
anything.
I've got nothing.
So it was skipping as I
You know
played.
you owe father for a lot more
Or
than
stuttering,
just the
rather.
axe and hammer.
So this is
I told you I
Kunesh,
have
our
no coin,
friend
you bastard.
who we have
Get
to
the
get
hell out
money
of
out
here.
of. And we actually will do a persuasion
I must
here.
have misheard you. It sounded like you just told me to clear off.
We're telling them, yo, pay for the
But you
tools, or
wouldn't
at
be
least
stupid
so
enough
far.
to think you can steal,
Or we could get the
not pay your
guards
debts and then try to
against you.
scare me. Would you?
You son of a whore. How dare you speak to me like
So
that? Bye.
I saw on the bottom left that I have more reputation than strength. Maybe I should use that, but instead, I'm gonna be a tough guy. And it fails. And he got his horse. Wonderful. So yeah, time for a fight. Now I don't know how he's doing those grapples. Maybe it's just a blocking thing. Again, you can watch in the bottom half. The upper left is his health. The interesting thing you might notice is that as my health goes down, my stamina will also. Oh, upper left. I just got a point. My stamina will go down, which is a very interesting system, and I think that will work really well. Now, as we were saying, I got a level in the upper left for unarmed combat. I'm taking major injuries. Oh, you can get a broken arm. That's interesting.
Now.
So I am definitely losing this fight, but I'm still doing enough damage to him, though that grapple did not look right to me. Kind of missed poking his eyes.
You had it coming.
There we go. So we just got warfare. So let's talk about those skills for a second. Now there's a bunch of stats in this game. We've seen strength, we've seen vitality, agility. You also can get these skills like warfare, unarmed, and you can build them up. You can also spend skill points to get buffs for that stat. Now, unfortunately, I lost that battle. But because I decided to be kind of a jerk, I decided I can beat him up again. Let's go one more time. Kind of wanted to see what happens if I lost a fight or died. And again, bottom, you can see his health bar as well as mine. You can see how much shorter my stamina bar is, because the minute I fill it up, it's now at half. I'm trying to kick more because kicking's fun. And there we go. We get a new level in strength as well. So as you use skills, you will level them up. That's what it seems. Oof. He probably needs that one. The fighting's good. I mean, this is just an unarmed fight with the first guy. It is not a simple punch him once or twice. I could see something deeper, but it is not something that's going to be easy from what I hear. And we are at 30 minutes, I know. We will end shortly. I just want to show, in this script, I've lost to him. I've now beat him up. And he is now fallen over defenseless. I can't kill him if you see in the bottom left. I thought I actually had killed him by beating him senseless. No, that's not the case. I think he's a quest character, and thus you can't. So if you notice, it says I can steal items, and then I have to sell them. Now, I actually could sell my items to the
Fritz might have one.
The charcoal vendor, which is odd. But I wonder if that's because either he's a vendor or the game doesn't care. Maybe there's long-term negative repercussions in that, but it just hasn't happened yet. But yeah, I just stole all this stuff. So I've officially stolen back the hammer, nails, and now I can go sell it. Let's see what happens next, and then we'll get out of here. I'm not sure exactly what does health or whatnot.
God save you, Henry.
Listen, there's this locked chest I need to get into.
Really? And only straight not good enough for you anymore?
Ah, come on.
It's just that someone has something
around the
that doesn't
building.
belong to him.
So,
and I wanna
if
take
you
it
notice,
back.
it said I wanted lockpicks.
If you say so. It's not skin off my nose anyway. I've got some lockpicks you can have.
So
But if you
rather
get
than
caught,
talking about
you can get
the
'em from
main
me.
storyline where
Never heard
I've
of
just
you.
slung
Thanks, Fritz.
dung, I am asking for lockpicks. Here you go.
Oh, we sorted that Deutsch out.
That
You
was
didn't
pretty
get
close,
them
eh?
from me.
That old bastard didn't stand a chance.
Who are you?
True,
Oh, Fitz.
but I'm worried that fucker Hans will snitch on us.
Well, let him.
Fitz.
Then I'll snitch on him.
And then now,
Anyway,
talking to the same
what
guy,
can I
all of
do
a sudden
to
I'm
it
now
for throwing a bit of dough?
dealing with the
Good
Deutsch
point.
thing.
It's not as if anyone really likes the Deutsch.
I guess we
We've
Deutsch
sorted out
mobbed him.
Deutsch. Now I've got someone else to deal with.
Yeah. Monetary
Another
joke.
beating? Count me in.
Kunesh owes money to my father, but he won't pay. I'll have to shake
No
it
one
out
likes
with
the
him.
Deutsch.
Sure, mate. You helped us, so we'll help you.
Let's get to it then.
So I'm wondering if because I failed to make him pay
Ganesh.
earlier,
Get out here, you old
I
goat.
have
I've something to show
set
you.
up the storyline of my friends are gonna go beat him up with me. But that same storyline, with it has already been resolved because I beat him senseless and stole his stuff. Don't know. Or it's possible that even by beating him, stealing his stuff, I haven't satisfied this requirement of I have to beat him up.
What the fuck are you here for? You want me to take a whip to you or call a catch pole?
Just try it, you
He
old
will
drunk.
come in a second.
Jesus Christ! Oh!
What's up? Shit yourself.
And there he is.
Enough! Enough! I give up.
And here we go.
Take what you want.
One more fight. So yeah, of course I'm going to beat him up. He has just been recently defeated by me. So that was easy. But it's just I don't know if the script is going to handle people breaking the script, or if it does this thing where it's like, oh, you've already done this thing, let's do it a second time. And that is Kingdom Come Deliverance. So if you've enjoyed this video, thank you. And if you want to see the Surviving Mars preview, that will be out tomorrow. If you do want to see more from me, or you want to see the review for either this game, Surviving Mars, or just anything, I have Bloodstained coming up. Thank you very much. Consider subscribing, and I'll try to get those out shortly. Do all those YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, whatever else YouTube wants you to do now. I don't even know anymore. Still, until next time, I'm King Link, and thank you for watching.